Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere.
He can breathe underwater and go flying through the air.
The noble submariner, Prince of the Deep, will be ready any demon.
Lord Faber of Atlantis is the Prince of the Deep.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm back. You're probably noticing a little different. There's a few things that are a little different. You probably noticed in the backyard here, it doesn't have comics all over the place. It's because I'm not in my office. I'm out in the living room, and we're doing some little arranging in the house. I've been told that I'll be out here. I'm also working like on 5 different shows right now in the film industry. The whole world's exploded for me. I'm very busy. It's literally going from nothing to everything in like 2 weeks, and it's been exciting to get everything back and going. So anyway, that's fun. I'm excited about that. But the other thing is I shaved my beard. I don't have a beard. I don't know if you noticed that. I don't look like old man time anymore, at least as much. When I did it, my daughter cried, which was odd. I don't think it was strange. So anyway, she's gotten used to it now. I think we're all used to it. I'm back to, looking like a chubby middle-aged guy. Anyway, but not old man time. But the real reason we're here is comics. I'm doing this on webcam too, by the way, on my computer. I've usually used my iPhone, but now I'm using this. So forgive me if there's any lag or any weirdness. I'm not used to this. So I'm sitting at my desk. We're doing comics. And what we're talking about today is comics that are long-term holds. I collect in a way that I'm trying to buy all the dream books I had when I was like 12 years, or wanted to have when I was 12 years old that I couldn't afford. Like the first appearance of Punisher, or the first Silver Surfer, first Spider-Man. Well, I'm not a big Spider-Man guy, but that would be one. Hulk #1, all the big boy books. And I'm not like some rich dude, so I can't just like go and jump into that. But hopefully, I've been able to do a lot of flipping. I grab a lot of cheap books and they go bigger. Years ago, I mentioned this earlier that I was kind of in on the Eternals, because I said Eternals before and somebody thought I said Turtles #1. It's actually Eternals. And I bought like 30 or 40 copies #1 and a bunch of the other ones. And I was able to flip all those into kind of turning into house money to work with and buying books I wanted. And it's worked really well. And so I've kind of gone down that path many times. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. We all know this. But when you're playing with like $1 to $5 books, dropping $40 to grab a bunch of one book, like 8 or 10 copies, hoping to get 2 9/8 out of it, or maybe more, is a pretty good deal if you can sit around and wait 4 or 5 years. And these are those kind of books. And I'm hoping, turn these $2 to $5 books into, I don't know, $1 million. No, $100 books, or hopefully more if possible, if they go higher. But I'm going to show you some of the stuff I'm going after to do that. And again, these are all super cheap. You can find them in your LCS. Cons, dollar bins. It's not dollar bins, but they're a little bit higher now. They were dollar bins like a few months ago, but this one's definitely a dollar bin book. I'm a huge believer in this book. Everyone remembers the alcoholic issue of Iron Man. I think it was issue 128, where he's sitting on the thing and he's like, there's a bottle there, and he's like, I'm an alcoholic, and that was such a big deal book, and the price wise. It still is. It's not a cheap book. You get a 9/8, it's really not cheap. But it's one of the real key issues of Iron Man, in my opinion. And it's just because it's a socially relevant book, and was so then. This is another book that I feel is in that ballpark. It's definitely not as judgmentally, but in the time it came out, it was a very judged book. And it's Alpha Flight 106. This is the first time... North Star, the character, French-Canadian character, he came out the closet. That was a big deal in the mid-90s. It was in the newspapers. It was everywhere. Boy, the neighbors really firing up the old hog. Anyway, it was such a big deal. And this book, you can get it in dollar bins, $3 tops. It's one of those books that I think the only reason it isn't as big of a deal right now is simply because Alpha Flight hasn't become big. They're not the character, like they haven't become Iron Man category, you know, and Iron Man's always been fairly big, but Alpha Flight's been kind of quiet in the last 20 years. They're not a big deal. I think that's going to change, and in a big way. I think there's a lot of rumors saying they're coming to the MCU, and that's a big thing. I think Alpha Flight is a really good investment right now in the fact that they are cheap and you can sit on them for a while. They come to the MCU. If they're anything as cool as they were when John Byrne was doing them back in the 80s, we're in for a real treat. Saying that, this is a very, very relevant book. And I think when people smell what this book is, what it really is, and it means so much to a certain sector of our population, as it should. I think it was such a ballsy move for Marvel to do this in its era. Today, not so much. It's very common. And it should be. It should be normalized now. But this was the beginning of that, and that's pretty cool. So, Alpha Flight 106, guys, pick them up. I just pick them up if I see them cheap. Onto a totally different reason why I like this book. This is the first Talisman, Alpha Flight 19. The reason why I picked this book up is, and I have a few, Alpha Flight's all males. There's only like a couple chicks in it. Chicks. Listen to me, I sound like I'm from the 70s. Girls, women. They need more women. And so I have a feeling that Shaman, her father, is not going to be introduced, and it's going to be her when it's brought out. I think she fits all the marks for a great hero, a great character, and I think we'd be lucky to have her. It's not an expensive book. Just go grab them. They're around. Another book, Astonishing X-Men 3, first Abigail Brand. She's a character that kind of runs Sword. She's kind of like a Nick Fury-esque character, I guess you could call her. And with Sword being hinted of having a Disney Plus TV series, I think we'd be fools not to pick this up. These are pretty reasonably priced. You can usually find them for between $5 and $20, depending where you are. I'm in Canada, so $20 is like $15 American. So that's even cheaper. Pick them up. They're cheap. I think there's legs. Saying Sword. Lots of rumors. Boy, squeaky chair. Issue 6. This is another one. There we go. That's a really nice cover, too. I'm doing the webcam thing. I'm looking at myself right now. It's kind of creepy. Issue 6. It's the first appearance of Sword. Sword's going to be its own TV series, Disney Plus. It's a whole thing. Pick them up. These are starting to get expensive, though. I have more than these. I have, I think, 7 copies. And I think that's enough. I think I'm good. And I was able to pick them up for like between $5 and $10. But the last time I picked some up, I was in Calgary, which is a city out in the prairies of Canada, and they were a little pricier. I think they were like 15 to 20, and I felt like I had hit my max on these books. That's too much risk for me because who knows? All they have to do is cancel the thing, and I've got a bunch of garbage. Well, not garbage. I mean, they're cool, but if they pop, that's awesome. It's I'm gonna sit on these for 3 or 4 years. Here's another long-term one. This is an interesting one. Because there's a lot of thought on the topic. So, Ghost Rider 28 and Ghost Rider 31. So the reason why I'm holding up both these books is this. Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns are awesome. Again, there's lots of rumors in the world that Midnight Suns are going to be hitting the MCU. With Blade coming out and that whole world being developed, I don't see why we wouldn't see a Midnight Suns eventually. I think it's 5 or 6 years off at least, but you know what's pretty cool? These are cheap damn books. I picked up this stack. There must be 10 copies here for about between $1 and $3 each. So, oops, that's 31 there. There, that's 28. So I got those. I got some more in the back too in my comic, and then I got a bunch more of these. The 31. Okay, so the reason why I bring up 31 and 28 is this: is that 28 is the first appearance of Lilith, who's a pretty cool character, and it's got a great cover. I mean, you can't beat that cover. You really can't. It's pretty cool. They're both polybagged too, by the way, which I've kept inside. With that in mind, it says Midnight Suns on here, right? But it technically isn't the first appearance of Midnight Suns. They kind of come together in this issue. So really, if you go online, you're going to find out that some people say this is the first appearance of Midnight Suns, and some people say this is the first appearance of Midnight Suns. Crazy thing is, they're so goddamn cheap. You'd be crazy not to buy both, because they're just cheap. Like, again, $1 to $3 each. Just buy a stack. Spend $40 on each. That's $80. 9/8s are going for $80 to $100 right now. All it takes is winning a couple of those, and you paid it off everything. So it's pretty simple math on that one. And if it does take off, if Midnight Suns becomes a thing, you're sitting on some pretty cool books, and a lot of them. And the best part about that is you can turn that money into a bigger issue or a bigger key that you want, and keep one of the 9/8s for yourself. And then you got, you win all around. And you didn't have to put a lot of money into it to begin with. So, again, it's long-term thinking. A lot of people don't like to sit on books that long. I don't mind. I have a couple long or short boxes that are just these kind of things. Well, a couple. I'd like to say it's less than that, but it isn't. But some win, some fall apart. I have a good feeling about these two books, and I hope that you guys do too. Another book that has recently kind of erupted a bit because of some sneaky people online have been talking about it, but Franklin Richards joins Power Pack. So the first appearance of this is of Franklin Richards, who is Reed Richards and Sue Storm's kid, is what is it? It's Fantastic Four Annual 6, the first Annihilus issue, which is already a super hot key. And I'm fortunate to have a few of those. Nothing super high grade. They're really expensive. In my world, expensive. I have 3 mid-grades, and I'm really happy with those. But for him, another key that is affordable, and I do think this will take off, is this is his first real. He joins Power Pack and becomes his own character. Really, before he was just a baby, and not really much, and now he becomes something. So I do think this book will take off. They're actually, someone else thinks this too, because they're tough to find online, and I do dig them up in the odd store here and there. So that's a book I'm grabbing. I'll grab 10 if I can get them for under $3 each. I'll grab 10. So that's it for comic books, and I wanted to actually throw a little bonus in here. I have another obsession that I really enjoy. This is when I was a kid. I was a movie guy. Like, I loved cinema. It drew me to movies. I directed a movie recently. I've written a bunch of movies. I've been fortunate to do that sort of thing. I'm not saying I'm not pretty low on the totem pole of people that make movies, but at the same time, I've enjoyed my career. And it all started when I was really young. And we all had that kind of inspiration thing that happened when we were kids. And one thing that I collected as a young man was Fangoria. Fangoria is there we go. Look at that cover, guys. Good God, eh? So when I was a kid, I saw this. This is the first one I ever saw on the bookshelf, and my mom obviously almost slapped me, saying, "There's no way in hell you're taking that home." And I didn't. I didn't take it home, and that was that. And this would have been about 1981, so I was quite a young lad at that point, and very young, way too young to be getting Fangoria, and I and I was obsessed with it. I was scared shitless of it, and my older brother acquired issue 22, which I don't have here in front of me right now, and I'll do a video about this. And I was scared of it, and I literally watched from across the room him reading it, and it made me scared. But that obsession of being scared and just dominating that fear became a thing, and it stepped into me wanting to watch horror movies, becoming obsessed with horror movies. Fangoria, eventually became the book that that kind of helped me learn. Oh God, look at these covers! Every one of them is awesome, and anyway, it helped me learn how to be a filmmaker. I bought a Bolex 16mm camera and a Super 8 camera, and I made short films with my buddies. It was like a whole thing, and I really loved that part of my life. I was very fortunate to be able to do that. As a young man, every cent I had went to either comics or buying film for my camera to do these things and making makeup effects, all that kind of stuff. And to this day, I still adore horror movies, and it's all because of Fangoria. But anyway, one of the reasons I collect these now, because I'm an adult now, I can afford them. Not that they're expensive; they're they're super cheap actually, but they are impossible to find in high grade. Fucking possible. I'm not saying they're totally impossible. You can get, if you look online, you'll find the key issues, and there are key issues in another video. I'll tell you about those. And you can get them graded, and there are 9/8 out there, and they go for pretty good money. But generally, you buy them for nothing. And anyway, they're really hard to get in high grade. We'll just say that. And I am very happy to have. Well, this one took 15 years to get. Look at that one. Jesus Christ. That was impossible to find. So, sorry, I just have to do something here on my computer. I just had to. Apparently, my disk is almost full on my computer. Anyway, this one is a postcard book. Impossible to find, but I got it off the CGC forums from a really great collector. This thing is perfect. This is a perfect book. I literally cannot find a flaw on it. If it doesn't get a 9/8, I will shoot myself in the head live on video. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that. I do it with makeup effects, though. That would be cool. In fact, I should just do that anyway. Anyway, and issue 9, which was the first one, I have these two perfect copies. I'm super stoked about that. I actually have a bunch more because I was picking up. It used to be a book worth about $300 in about 1990. It's not really worth that much now because it was the first book that Fangoria sold out of. But anyway, that's for another video. Here's a neat copy of Deep Red #1, mint, like pure mint. It took me 15, 20 years to find a copy this nice. These things have been read out of existence. So, and then the last one I'll show you is a pretty cool one. It's a Monsters Price Guide for magazines. This was done in the 70s. Check out that freaky cover. Guess who did that? Mr. Bernie Wrightson. Can you see that? Let's see. There we go. Look at that inking. Oh my God, just gorgeous. Anyway, I wanted to show you this because it's amazing. And I love this stuff. It's a passion of mine, and I'm going to do another video on just this stuff. And like 9 people are going to watch it. I don't care. Those 9 people, we'll have a great time together. I think I'm done right now. I have a ton more comics to show you. A lot of cool Silver Age stuff coming. Some great Bronze Age keys I have in the mail at the moment. I have more books like this I'm going to be showing. I just want to do this more often. It's just so much fun. I miss hanging out with you guys. Hit me up on IG, Vancouver Comic Junkie, and anytime. I just love questions. I love answering questions, and if there's anything I can help you with, hit me up. Like and subscribe. That always helps too. And you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
See you later, alligator.